Welcome to SoCal Sports Report's 95th podcast. I am John Stillman along with John Adams and our special guest tonight, who we hope will be a regular contributor, Elliot Gilligan. With us tonight, we're very pleased to have him. We always need new talent and new ideas, new thoughts, new discussions. So we're hoping that Elliot's going to add quite a bit to the show tonight. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I think I'll let him just kind of introduce himself, let you guys know who he is and where he's from and sports background he may have. Go ahead, Elliot. Just give us a little bit on your background.
Born and raised in South Bay. Played sports there, football in high school and baseball in high school and baseball in college, and then went on to be a high school baseball coach for a number of years. Won 3 CIF championships. Coached Gerald Laird, Bobby Crosby. It was fun. Then scouted for the Tigers, as I told you, through batting practice for the Angels, and actually quit that job a year before they won the World Series. And never thought they would ever do it, so that's why I don't have a ring to show you. But, yeah, that's kind of what the clubhouse guys did, was laugh after they won it. But, yeah, no, and love baseball, love sports, definitely a Lakers, Dodgers, SoCal guy. Know John from the golf course and talking sports. So
there you go. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
We'll start off with the Breeders' Cup, which is probably one of the premier thoroughbred track events of the year. You got the Derbies, of course, and the Triple Crown, but this is huge. And like I say, I'm not a big horse guy, but I know John is. I will say one thing. I think Mike Smith might have a little bit of a needle in him to do well, since Bob Baffert dumped him. So that might add some intrigue to the event. I think it's a 2-day event, isn't that right, John? Saturday?
Friday, Saturday. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's it's. I think it's bigger than the Derby. The Derby. This is a 2 days of the best horses in the world that are coming to one little area, and it moves all around. It's usually from Santa Anita to Del Mar over to to the Kentucky area, and it floats around there. But it's going to be a little bit different, I think, this year because of the history of what's happened at Santa Anita with a lot of horses going down. And I'm curious to see. I've heard rumors that the fields are down this year than normal.
They don't want to take a chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, these are $1 million
36 deaths, I think.
Yeah, two horses on Saturday.
Yeah, but 36 for the year. It's not for the meet, right?
Yeah.
I think things have gotten better there. But yeah, you're right. Mike Smith, Baffert took as he calls it, a gut feeling and put on Joel Rosario on McKenzie, and so Mike's gone to Yoshida. Is now an 8-1.
I like the odds better. I'm going to bet on Smith. I'm not going to bet on the horse, right?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Magic Mike is is what he's done. In the past of
for him it's a huge beat.
Yeah,
he's 1 win away from tying Jerry Bailey's
200
grade 1.
Yeah, and he's got 26 Breeders' Cup victories. So yeah, it's I'm curious to see how that's all going to go down and how I'm not gonna. I hope this doesn't go down, but if a horse does go down, do people start scratching horses? I don't know. But yeah, it's really big. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to be able to watch Saturday. I'm going to be able to watch Friday. But I'm even going to tape it. But I mean, if you're a horse player, like Elliot and I have been known to throw a couple bucks down on some horses. If you do your homework, you can make a lot of money in those 2 days because you might see a McKenzie at 3-1, but there's many horses that can win that race, right?
That's the nice thing about it. It's kind of like the Ryder Cup of horse racing,
right?
Yeah.
But it goes every year.
When you got the best horses in the world, it's really hard for one or two to be favorites. I mean,
right, and then that's why
don't run every day because there's so much money involved. They hold them. They want to get their on. They want to win these races. On their end. Yeah. Payouts for the day for an owner, depending on how many horses he has, could be bigger than the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. And so that's where the jockey, becomes a big story because these guys that have experiences, but. Again, you have the Pratts and the Velasquez's, and they're all there. I mean, they're all there. So it's just an honor for those guys to even get mounts. To be honest with you, and I'll be polling for Yoshida because I thought that was kind of a weird thing that just went on with Mike. But again, what is he?
8-1.
57 years old or something. I mean, he's up there.
Yeah.
You know, he's up. Mike's up there. You know, so I don't think Baffert's liked the last 3 or 4 races that he rode, and it's
That's
funny
his
because
call,
right, and he said okay. Mike just went okay. He's like, you're not even going to fight me on this. He goes, well, it's your decision.
I mean, 1992 was his first Breeders' Cup win. At Santa Anita it ran then. So, I mean, he's been around for a while, no doubt, and he's still strong as a bull, and kind of like. Pete Guy.
Hopefully everything goes smooth, and there's nothing nothing goes bad, and hopefully it's a real good blessing actually for Santa Anita, to be honest with you, if those horses can all go down. I mean, I know there's been horses that have actually gone down in this meet, but it really hasn't been due to the track, right? Stepped on something, made a bad turn,
right.
So you can't really. I don't know what the story is to all the deaths, but back in the time when it was really getting bad, these horses were going down in practice.
Well, that's what happened Saturday.
Yeah,
one of them was a training.
Was it?
Yeah. The bad thing about something happens. They're talking about banning horse racing in California altogether, which I don't know is healthy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the animal rights. Not that I'm an advocate.
Well, it's not like California is the only place where this is happening.
Well, I mean, it'd be, to be honest with you, I don't know why the state would do it, because they get a lot of money from it, So, that would be, kind of, I don't see that happening. But I'll tell you what's happening though is because of off-track betting and what we can sit in our garage or our, or in our room and go online and bet these horses. It's the people going to the tracks you can go there and just get a window like there's, you don't have to watch it live anymore. You can watch it live on your phone, on your TV, and in the comfort of your own home. And you got bookmakers across the world that you can make bets with. So
they're going to be irrelevant, because with the California law, where sports betting legal, they have their licenses already.
Yeah.
So all the tracks, all the off-track betting, they're going to be able to take wagers for everything.
Yeah. So
which is scary.
All right. Well, that'll be interesting.
It,
Be interesting to see how that turns out, and I'm with you on that. I hope there's no injuries. Hope everything runs smoothly, and we have a great meet.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind to see Smith pull one out. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
All right, let's switch gears to the NBA. The Lakers have been solid. The Clippers have been exciting. I watched quite a bit of last night's game. Anthony Davis is just an animal. He had 40 points, 20 rebounds in 31 minutes. He didn't even play the fourth quarter. So
was the last guy to do that for Lakers? Chamberlain?
What's that?
Chamberlain was the last player to do that for the Lakers.
I think so. Right? Yeah. And 26 for 27 from the free throw line. What's he doing on the? He could be their free throw shooting coach. I mean, the Lakers are awful free throw. He was just a beast last night.
Well, one of the things that I noticed was I'm surprised. The first quarter, I started looking at him and he's rotating his shoulder and things aren't good, and he's got on ice, and I'm like, this doesn't sound right? It sound good, look good either. But I started watching the game because there was a lot going on. I had Ducks game going on, I had baseball going on, I had a lot of stuff going on. Right. We had the LAFC going on, soccer we'll get to, but I mean, with McGee and with Howard crashing the boards, that's really helped these guys, get second and third chances, right? Yeah. But I'll tell you this much: you brought it up at the very, very beginning, through the preseason. They're not a very good 3-point shooting team, and Memphis was just not good at all last night, right? But I mean, I think they were ahead by 2 at halftime, and they were only shooting 36%, right? But they went 7 for 26 from beyond the arc at 26%. Good teams will just see you later. They'll push them away. But
maybe with the big guys though, they start working inside out and change the game again back to
that's why
it should have been
because it's such a poor three-point shooting team. These guys got to crash the board so they can get second chances.
Maybe they'll post up. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, who knows? It doesn't exist anymore.
But you tell me, if Davis can stay healthy and he can play the big forward position, I mean, it's crazy how big they can actually play. And I see, I see some good things there, but I question the bench. I question the depth. I think there's too many guards on that team.
Well, they got 1 million guards.
Yeah, they got 1 million guards. I don't know. I think he's trying to figure out what is rotation. Like, where am I going to put Kuzma, and where am I going to put, what Rondo's going to go? Am I going to drop one guy down to the D League? I mean, what's going to go on there? Like it's.
You could have Boogie coming back though. I mean,
Well, I don't know when that's going to be very late in the season.
Vogel.
That's going to happen.
Vogel was quoted the other day as saying he's not out of the question. He could come back before the season's over.
No doubt about it. But I think they're going to say, "Hey, look, I want you to be 100%. I don't think I need you at 70%. Like let's just slow and wins the race here." And but that's great. I mean, you have a lot of big guys, but. Yeah, I think some of the guards are going to have – when Rondo comes back and he's healthy, you're going to have to probably get rid of one or drop one down. I don't know what they're going to do, but they have a lot of guards, and a lot of them are not very good shooters other than, Green, Yeah. So that's, it's again, they're 3-1. It's game – it's only the fourth game.
Talk about they may make the playoffs and actually have a factor, especially with Golden State.
Yeah. And the Clippers are actually right there with them too,
Yeah, but they're still the Clippers.
No, always will be.
Right.
But but they showed them who the Clippers were in the first game, So but you don't have Kuzma, and you don't. Yeah, you don't have.
Absolutely. I mean,
but the Clippers don't have George either.
True.
They're going to be awfully good when they get.
No, I understand. But
and the Clippers are actually going to. I noticed that they're really going to maintain the George and Kawhi's playing time because he's sitting tonight against Utah. Kawhi is. I think they're really limiting on.
He's not playing the whole game. He's out the whole game.
He's not playing. But I think it's a monitoring thing. I think they did it
in
San Antonio, right?
Yeah.
I remember there was some games on Saturday against Cleveland, and they weren't playing him, and all of a sudden they're like, sorry. This is one of the days we scheduled for him not to play.
Yeah. The league's going to come down on that, though. They've been trying.
Yeah,
Popovich
used to always do that.
Yeah, Popovich was known for it. Popovich goes, go ahead, find me. I don't care.
Yeah,
this is all about the playoffs, and I got to maintain these guys,
Remember, they went into Miami one year, and he announced before they left San Antonio, these guys aren't playing.
Yeah.
Right.
And these people pay a lot of money
because pay a lot of money to see them.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, my gosh, San Antonio's in town, and he's like, so he's not playing in Utah tonight. So
I still think they've got a pretty exciting team. They run and shoot and up and down.
But they're deep. See, they're deep. They're very deep. And
that's the best bench in the league. They had the highest scoring bench in the league last year. It's the highest scoring bench in the league this year. He can sub in and out and doesn't lose anything.
Oh, yeah, they got rid of the cancers. And they've always had, the big core behind them. So steady. But
those two guys coming in are going to be, and they're great leaders. They're going to be great for that team. And you get the six. Didn't they have the 6-man Sweet Lou? Right? Wasn't he the 6-man of the year like 2 years in a row or something like that? Like they got a good bench and they got a great coach.
They got a very good. Yeah, they got a very good coach.
Do we? Do the Lakers?
We don't know yet.
We
got a backup head coach on the bench.
Two backups.
Yeah.
No kidding.
One B and one C.
Yeah.
No kidding.
But I think the both LA teams are going to be exciting, going to be fun to watch, and. I'd love to see an Laker Clipper West final.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, that would be terrific. That'd be terrific.
I don't know
home games. Where do you got to travel? Well, I really don't have to travel. I just got to change the floor.
We're going to switch hotels.
Change the floor.
Staples Center used to be my customer.
Yeah.
And I was there when they were changing at a 3-day event. I think it was Christmas Day or something. But hockey and then or basketball or hockey and then basketball. It happened to be there, the day before when they were kind of switching out. It's impressive.
It is. It's a big.
They work around the clock to do that, don't they?
Oh yeah.
No, it's
especially you got to put ice.
The hockey ends up, if you play basketball after that, it kind of ruins the floor a little bit, or it's difficult because of the temperature and whatnot.
Yeah, it can get soft. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive though. That's for sure.
Let's get into the Rams. Another patsy, but a win is a win. I love the double reverse flea flicker. Think we'll ever see that again? But the impressive thing about that was they couldn't have done that without the offensive line.
Right.
That line held long enough for them to make all those transitions. Otherwise, if somebody breaks through, that thing is dead.
Exactly.
But that was exciting and fun to watch. Golf had Cooper Kupp was amazing.
The more I watch that team, the more that he catches the football, the better that offense runs. Because it's really like I can't. It's kind of like the Welker in the past. It's kind of like Edelman in the past. Those kind of. So it's like he's that guy that kind of like. Oh my gosh, we got to worry about that guy, which they stopped worrying about these other guys, right?
Yeah. Right. No,
like he's just a little scrappy little player.
But he runs like a deer.
Yeah, and he can take a hit, right? No So no I think these are look, it was a poor team that they played, but They need that right now. They need to build some confidence and see how plays are running. And Goff, we've always talked about this, right? If Goff has time, then Goff is dangerous. If Goff doesn't have time, then he runs and he's not very good, right? And he makes stupid decisions. But, with Gurley, being kind of like, hey, we really got to monitor him more for the second half. Well, they just got to monitor him for the second half is what it is, right? Because, now that you got, so you need Henderson to get some.
Yeah, he had a good game.
So then what happens to Gurley's confidence when Henderson continues to do what he's doing?
It's not that he'll never lose his confidence. It's more or less saving his legs and injury-proof for the playoffs more. So if they can win by sitting Gurley a little bit more and having Henderson and I forget who the other Brown, right? If they can get those guys and they can help him relax, then we're honest, right? Gurley's not an everyday on back anymore, right? It's not gonna happen, right? But
you're paying him. You're paying him to be an everyday back.
I don't know if they are anymore. I don't think they can anymore. I mean, I just don't think. I mean, these guys are done after 5 years, And if you put up those big numbers, then if you put up those good years, then you deserve to get paid. But I think they have to look at more of the depth situation and letting more guys run. And kind of like what, look at the Patriots. White's over here, and Michelle's over here, and they got multiple guys that are doing it. But the kid Henderson, if he gets broken, he's very fast.
He looked good.
And he's fresh, right? It's a year one, right? So if you can be successful, just let him go, right? But again, the defensive line needs to stay strong there and pressure. And they're not what they used to be. They let Talib go yesterday to Miami.
That was a financial decision, I believe.
That was financial, so they can sign.
But I totally understand you there. But Peters went and Talib went. And the last two games, I actually watched the both of them play.
Did you see Peters got a pick six?
Well, but they were on the lazy side. They weren't the aggressive DBs that they're known to have. And then they brought in the kid from Jacksonville, right, which is a good thing. Yeah, so it was easy for him to let Talib go, which was you go to Miami. I mean, like, hey, thanks, you're in Denver. Now you come here, and now you're in Miami. And welcome to the 14 picks that you're going to get next year, right? But
no, he didn't. I mean, they got 2 picks out of it, a 2020 and a 2022.
Yeah,
and they released $4.2 million. So
no, I mean that's the positive, right, for next year. Yeah. So
what was? Do you know what Osweiler's contract was that they assumed? Because they assumed his payout. That's what it was, I believe. They took on Osweiler's and then
the old quarterback,
right, and then dumped to leave. But I mean, what they got, the draft picks they got, it's not going to cost them anything. But fourth rounders and Is that what it was? Yeah.
But he was on the IR anyway and couldn't come back till week 15, so you're not going to have him for the season anyway.
5th and a 7th.
Yeah.
So, they have money, but if you don't spend it.
So, I mean, the buy couldn't come at a better time for them. But the one thing I lacked to look up this morning was what the rest of their schedule. Is it a tough schedule? Is it mediocre? So that's
what I got to have a tough schedule. We're in the Super Bowl, so.
Well,
aren't they doing schedules that?
Well, San Francisco is much better than what they used to, and they showed that to them. But
San Francisco's legit.
Yeah, they are.
Well, that defense
the whole defensive line's all number one picks. So
actually panned out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
crazy.
But I mean, I think they needed a game like that, a big confidence game. If you can get McVay on track to what he was doing last year and being able to believe and not be scared about calling in plays, and Goff. I think they could get themselves right back into being a playoff contender. So
they wanted to free up money too to sign that Jalen Ramsey to a long-term extension.
Yeah.
That was part of the thinking there.
Right.
The defense. Dante Fowler looked pretty good, but the defense is not what it was.
No,
the line is not what it was.
Bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
no. We were spoiled.
So good.
We were spoiled.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt.
With Donald and Sue.
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt.
Well, what happened to your Chargers? The other team missed.
What are you talking about? We won.
The other team missed a field goal.
Huh?
The other guy missed
about time it was on the flip side,
from a 25-yard.
Yeah, and it was my wife's from Chicago, so it was great to watch. I'm like, watch. You're gonna miss this. Oh no, we're not. This kid's a new kicker. He's been making everything. I go, hey, now you know how I feel all the time. I think they were completely lucky. Obviously they play better on the road than they do at home.
Well,
even
they're
though
on the road for every game.
They're on the road for every game.
Until they go back to San Diego.
But I know they're just they're struggling running the ball, and they need to run the ball to be successful to open up the offense. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but it's just for some reason I don't think Phillip has the zip on the ball that he used to have. He's actually pushing himself to throw into double and triple coverages. I don't think he's making some of the
making good decisions.
Yeah, and he's coming off, and he whines a lot, right? Obviously. So what did he do? He whined enough to where Wisenhunt lost his job this week, right? So, but they need to run the ball. I mean, I thought Gordon might have been. I wonder how many people came to them for Gordon in this last week, but obviously the deals weren't good enough. So they're going to have to run the ball to be successful, and because they do have some, some good receivers.
Every year seems like, and then they turn it on.
And to your point, they've been in every single game.
No, absolutely.
I mean, they've been in every game. Like they could have won that game in Tennessee. They on the 1 inch line, they can't get it across. They lose by field goals or last minute bad defensive calls, and they go down and kick a field.
Fan speaking, right?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, here they go again. It was a debacle with 65% of the Pittsburgh fans, right? And guess who's rolling in town this week? Green Bay.
Yeah,
well, that'd be all Green Bay.
Thing.
You're going to get the same exact thing.
Have either of you been to a game at the stadium?
Yes, I have.
Have you been?
No.
You should go. But no joke. It is one of the best experiences, regardless.
It's a soccer stadium, right?
Yeah, right.
So there's not one bad seat. There's not one bad seat.
Did you ever go to Paulie LaSalle game at the Long Beach City College, or ever see a game there?
Long time ago.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're watching the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And to be honest with you, that's exactly how big their stadium should be, because they can't draw anyway. I mean, this is going to get crazy when they go up the street.
Yeah, what's that going to look like?
It's huge. I was there. It's my customer.
Yeah.
I've taken a couple tours now, and
it's massive.
It's awesome.
And they're not even close to selling season tickets.
They'll have
they're not. I mean, as a vendor, they want us to participate in looking at what was available. I mean, the whole world. I mean, for everything. The licensing is what's going to get people. To do that for both teams. It's crazy. When the Niners moved, into the new stadium, I went to a lot of games. I have a lot of customers up in San Francisco, so I was going to Candlestick and wanted to get season tickets there and couldn't. Candlestick was sold out.
Right.
But ended up on this list, and they called me. And finally one day the kid gets me on the phone, and I asked him to seem like a pretty bright guy. I said, well, why don't you educate me here on why this would be a good financial decision? And he starts going through it. And I said, so this is the way I look at it. I can go online and get any ticket I want and pick for any game I want to go to, and I can take the money up for just one of those seats that you want me to, spend. I can go join a country club somewhere, probably pay for it for the next 2 years.
Right.
It's true. I mean, but that's the way it is. The Raiders, on the other hand, moving to that new stadium is genius. Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every casino is going to buy for all their high rollers. Every seat will be done. Every suite will be done. They don't care about the licensing. It's amazing.
It's going to be.
There'll be a different franchise too, I think, because Las Vegas isn't going to tolerate the shenanigans. That everybody else does.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Well, and Vegas is actually. I mean, just look at the hockey team. They support it.
They do. Yeah.
I mean, to your point with the Green Bay coming into town or Pittsburgh, now their fans are coming into town.
Oh no!
And swarming.
If you think about it, I'm in Green Bay. It's starting to get chilly, and let's look at their schedule. Let's go to California.
Of course.
Yeah.
On the plane, right?
Yeah.
LAX, it's right down the street. It's too easy.
No, I know.
Tons of hotels. It's.
Oh, and what they're building there. I mean, the whole city center is amazing.
Yeah.
Really
The entertainment stuff.
It'll change a lot.
Plus, the Clippers are putting up a stadium across the street.
Yeah, arena. Yeah, they're going to go right next door.
Right across the street from the Rams. Across the street from the Rams.
Yeah, right around it somewhere.
So I mean, the Forum. It's funny where that stadium is. We used to park going to Laker games.
Well, the Forum's pissed off because they've converted that for music only.
Right.
And now they're going to battle them on concerts now.
Yeah, the Clippers.
The Clippers will.
Yeah.
They should. I don't know. Who do you know who owns it? Does the city have anything to do with the Forum?
No, I think it's
Madison Square Garden.
Oh, it is.
Oh,
really?
Is it? Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
James, what's his name? Guy that owns the Knicks.
But it looks odd aesthetically, looking at what's going in, and then looking at the Forum. because it still looks exactly.
Well,
like
see,
the film on the
I
outside.
think they want to build that because also the Olympics is going to be using that.
Yeah,
That's right,
they'll use that a
Yeah,
lot too.
yeah.
So it'll take away from. Wow. I'm trying to figure out where they're going to put that. Where the homes are then, or
I think
a
it's
cemetery.
I think it's over. If you're looking,
It's got to be east.
if you're looking at the form like this, right? I think it's going to be
Well, that's all
South?
city. That's all city center.
or
From Hollywood Park
Yeah.
to the Forum is all where the new stadium is.
yeah.
And then you have homes across the street.
So no, I think it's going to be around there somewhere. But I think it's going to be one of those things where it's in the parking lot kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
That'll be interesting.
yeah.
No doubt.
We had a tough loss last night. The LAFC. I mean, how can you have a season like that? So disappointing. The first loss they've ever had to Seattle. Of course, they've only been in the league 2 years. They had beaten them 5 times. Either beaten them or tied them 5 times. And I mean, to have the best team in the league, set record for points, record for goal differential, and our boy Carlos set a record for goals, a record for total points, goals and assists, and they just had a monster year. And then to tank. I didn't get a chance to watch the game, but
I watched
That's
about
disappointing.
I watched about half of it. I kind of going back and forth. But I don't know, Ellie. Have you seen this? Have you seen a live game on? I haven't been there live, but have you watched any of it?
I'll be honest,
I watched it on television.
Soccer isn't my thing,
right? Yeah.
But I did watch the LAFC against the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I saw that game. I think it was great.
So
good entertainment.
It's the fans are electric.
It's great. I mean,
They're
my
they're
notes on
going
it were,
across.
it's
They're
great
going
for LA.
across. So like they're holding each other. Like they're into it. Like
You
it
gotta
was.
figure with the Hispanic community
Yeah,
in
yeah.
LA.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
building it downtown. I mean, it's phenomenal.
And I
you know.
think it kind of hurt them. They were so into that game. It felt like almost like a final, right?
Right.
And it was so electric because you
I
had
think
Galaxy
every game's
fans
like
in
that.
there.
I honestly
yes,
do.
I totally
I
agree.
think,
After the last 2 games I've watched,
Right.
it was electric. Right?
Correct.
These fans they're chanting, they're singing, they're flowing back and forth
Right.
together in a whole row. Like it was really cool to watch, but. I think I think they left it all in the field in that Galaxy
Yeah,
game,
yeah, I
and
think so too.
I think it came to haunt them, and they were outplayed, they were outcoached, they were more. Seattle was more physical, and the goal,
soccer
two of the goals that actually were scored that I saw they were low and in the corner, but not really hit hard, but just placed perfectly to where it's out of the reach of the diving goalie. So. Again, it's just I think they needed a little bit more time, but it is what it is, and you got to be ready. And Seattle's a very, very strong program. Always has been since day one. They got a great fall. They had fans that came down to watch that. They had
You get a
some
big
green.
following there.
yeah, they'll sell out 59, 60,000
I've been
people.
actually at a Mariners game when the soccer game was going on, and you're in the baseball stadium, and you can hear them roaring
Right.
in that stadium.
Right.
And they do a chant. I saw a deal that night where they start in downtown, so the city is kind of, I don't know, about half a mile away, and they all connect in one area, and they all get in lines, and they
Walk down?
They walk down all together. And they have this whole
that's
big,
possible.
yeah,
Yeah, you can do that.
you could do that down
Yeah.
that side road, right?
Absolutely.
And they get probably 300-400 of them in a row, and they all go down and they're chanting their songs going into the stadium.
Well, I opened up Seattle Market for my company a couple years ago, and I was surprised. Preseason football weekend, right? And it's a like Thursday,
Right.
and I go out to dinner, and I mean they're wearing their jerseys, and they're talking about a preseason football game on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, it's
and it's like it was a to do, like a big outing for the entire week because football's starting, and the Seahawks are playing. But no, good followings. I'm surprised they don't have a basketball team again.
yeah. I think it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
They're going to get the expansion hockey team.
Yeah. They're going to
That's
get an
good.
expansion hockey.
They'll do well.
Yeah.
Um, But still, the NBA that was wrong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
well,
No, they shouldn't.
that owner was an idiot anyway.
But I
promised he would never. Oh, he'll never move this team.
it was tough. It was
Sounds
tough
like
to
the
watch because I'd like to see them in the finals, and
I would too.
The amount of support that they get, it would have been great for it to be in the final. Although,
Is it over now? They have no shot?
Yeah, it's a one shot. He's
Okay.
like one
Just
hit
one and
wonder,
you're
you're
out.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but it'll be good to be in Seattle. So who wins now?
Seattle, they play the winner of
I
Atlanta
know,
Toronto.
but who win? Is that a neutral site or is the
No. Whoever has the highest seed. Highest
highest seed? So what was Seattle? Were they the 2 seed or
I
three?
think they were two seed.
Okay, so they got to. Is the 1 seed still in the East Coast still going?
No, that's New York Football Club. They're out.
They're out. Okay.
So I think Seattle might get the home game there.
Okay, which would be great for the Seattle because they get a lot of support. Yeah,
they have great.
yeah,
They have great support there.
yeah.
You got a 1-0 game still, huh?
Still, is that what it is?
Third 2 outs appears.
All right.
Yeah, that was my. I was hopeful last night that Houston would win, so that I wouldn't have to set the DVR.
Yeah.
I mean, every pitch, everything on this is just it's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, there you go.
As best as we can.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here.
Angels.
Did
So
either
we
of you,
got,
just stay on top of soccer real quick, did either of you see the Hispanic team? I think it was La Tigra or one of these. I was watching Sports Center. They hadn't been paid by the owner
Oh, really?
in like a month. So they start the game, and all the players just stand there.
They just go through them.
Well, and the other team kind of, it was weird. They didn't.
Like,
I guess
are you
apparently
going to
they
play
knew-
defense?
Well, they knew it was going to go on, but it was just weird, and they scored the first goal, and then it was supposed to be over, apparently. And they dropped the ball now again, and they did it again. And then the official stopped the game and went and talked to somebody. I guess, apparently they can end the game if you don't participate, if you don't move.
Right.
So they dropped it again, and guys started to just take a couple steps and whatnot, and they scored another goal, and they lost 3-2.
Wow.
But it was.
They came back and scored a couple goals.
No, then they
so
started
they
playing.
did care. They still cared. Yeah.
Well, they made their point, I guess. So.
All right.
It's great.
Angel Baseball. Joe Madden. I like it. Ex-Met Mickey Callaway's his pitching coach. He brought his hitting coach from Chicago, John Mallet. Nobody else has been added to the staff so far, but his number one job is going to be to recruit Garrett Cole.
Oh, of course.
And I think that he'll do well there. He brought John Lester in from Boston when he took the job at Chicago. He's a very easygoing country boy, straight shooting, comfortable guy. Then I wouldn't be surprised. Cole wants to play out here.
Well, yeah, he went to UCLA, yeah, and Orange Lutheran, right?
I think
Yeah.
he's a blue guy, but I mean, look, the Angels got. I mean, Madden's great for him, and the good thing and the positive with Madden is, and the Angels being the Angels, and the way Moreno. I mean, it's almost a hobby for him. Wealthy guys get yachts and they buy wineries. He bought the Angels.
Right.
He'll be able to manage. It's not. I don't think it's not a front office.
No.
And he has the clout, and he is who he is. So that'll be good for the club and good for him. I mean, the flip side is what's horrible with the Angels now. I mean, the scandal. Obviously, I think they're going to have serious issues.
Skaggs. Yeah.
I think there's no doubt in my mind. Meade knew about it. He doesn't take that job in the middle of the season after he's been here forever, and just exit. And the financial situations, the lawsuits, and I mean, they could do prison time, Meade included, when all this comes
I
out.
think that PR guy Eric Kay might be in.
Well, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but
Yeah.
really his supervisor knew too. I mean, I think he'll get the lesser of the. But I mean, there's going to be a lawsuit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, it'll affect the league for perpetuity. I believe it'll start to change, rules and guidelines with
they'll have to-
clubhouse and relationships with players and.
And they're going to have to. They're going to have to test for that stuff too. They don't test for that.
Yeah, because it's not a performance.
The only thing they test for are
performance enhancement.
that's it.
Performance
If you're in
enhancement.
the minor leagues, though, you get tested. But as soon as you become a big leaguer or on the 40-man roster, they don't test you for anything else. I mean, but I don't think it'll ever happen because of the players' union on that.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I think the players' union are kind of. They weren't happy about the way the Skaggs thing was handled.
Well, correct. But does that really fall on the players, or does it fall?
Well,
on
I don't think they're going to
at that
stop.
point,
I don't think they're going to stop the league from wanting to test for that, for illegals.
Well, yeah, they don't
drugs.
want any more guys going down like that.
Exactly.
So I would assume that they're
They may
going to
test
test
for that drug.
Yeah.
or something that's
illegal.
Correct. Hippie lettuce and stuff
connected
like that,
to
I
it.
don't think they're
So yeah.
No doubt.
I mean, anything to do with pain relief. You know what I mean? I think they're going to start. Just going to start looking into. But I guess. Maybe I'm bad by this, but I don't know too much about Mickey Callaway and Matt. I don't know about these guys, right? And so did there need to be change? Now I heard a rumor the other day, and I don't know if this is true, but when a new coach is hired, right, he gets 2 guys, and then the GM and everybody else hires the rest of the guys. So is sounds like he brought his hitting coach over, right? But is Mickey Callaway his guy? If Mickey Callaway is not his guy, then he's got another guy he can bring in. Now I don't know if that's a bench coach or who that is, but
I think you hired Mickey
so
Callaway.
Then if that's the case,
that coaches
that
have to say so though. I mean, it's your staff.
yeah. So
Bring in who you like, but you're still going to keep guys. I mean, look at Madden was there forever. Didn't matter who was the manager.
What's that?
Back in the day, Madden was part of the coaching staff. The
SoCal.
Angels forever.
he was the bench coach forever. Yeah.
He was the man.
But remember how I talked to you? Remember we talked about this a couple weeks ago because I'm not agreeing with what Epler's doing decision making wise, and I said, why is Tampa Bay getting in to the playoffs or continue for the playoffs, and they're the lowest market
number 30,
right.
Salary.
I go, why don't you go look at that GM? Right? Guess who hired that GM? The Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
And look at the. I mean, you're not going to get the A's because that's a Billy Beane situation. But I'm like, this GM from the Tampa Bay is like, he must have a good scouts, right? Because he's got kids bringing in Snells, and then all of a sudden their contract comes up and you can't afford them again, right?
Trout and
so you let him go. So, but that kid, that guy knows something. And yeah, I saw that they hired him away.
Yeah, Trout and Pujols salaries together was more than the entire 25-man West.
Pujols is killing him, and it's going to kill him for the next couple of years. I mean, they back
2 more
ended
years.
that thing, and if they can't get him to renegotiate.
Because I'll tell you right now, Cole's going to get whatever he wants.
He's not going to be with the Angels, guys. I hate to tell you.
Where is he going to go? The Yankees?
Well, there's a team called the Dodgers in LA.
I
understand that.
It's going to be the Dodgers or the Angels.
Well, I don't know.
The Yankees.
Arizona will pay money. They've told you. San Francisco would definitely pay money right now. I mean, if you really want to be on the West Coast, and they need help, and they're willing to do that, considering they haven't made the playoffs in how many years, and financially speaking, they sell out every game.
Do the Dodgers have that kind of money? Do they? No, I mean, do they?
They're going to go over there. They'll
go over. They'll go over it. Okay.
Of course. No, I mean they offered Harper more than what he signed for.
Right.
They just didn't have the years.
Right.
They offered him, I think, a 3 or 4 year deal. But how great is that? That we're worried about the Nationals in the World Series, and Harper hit 240, and he's watching, same as us. He's watching the game on TV.
Yeah.
Texting his buddies that are playing, and
let's just say this: I think the guy's going to get whatever he wants, right?
And, they say it's going to be the biggest contract.
And the kid, is it Renton or whatever, the third baseman from Washington? He's going to get whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Or Rendon, yeah. He's going to do good. So
I mean, if Turner can play first base,
Gurriel, I think he's. I don't know.
How about Soto, guys?
Yeah.
Was he 20?
Just picture perfect.
Yeah.
I mean.
No fear, too, man. He'll take on anybody.
Hips and hands.
Yeah.
Big boy. I mean, goes right at it.
Yeah.
Just pretty to watch.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
He's quite a...
Actually reminds me of Pujols, a young Pujols hitting.
Yeah.
I mean, it really, 2 strikes, he shortens up a little bit. Cuts down the stride. Which is minimal already. Shortens up, and I mean, it's just pretty, which guys don't do anymore. I think Chase Utley went out with the old school baseball. I think
that's right, second base.
Yeah.
I remember that slide.
Again, Southern California guy.
That's it.
So I'm curious to see how. Oh, and then I don't know if you saw this on the way in. I got this. Josh Hamilton got arrested for.
No.
Yeah, accused of. I don't know if he was physical with his daughter. He's got arrested about 3 hours ago.
Which drug was he on?
Well, they didn't say anything about that. Just accused of.
It's too bad. I mean, you talk about just the talent. Again,
injuring a child, and then we found out later it was his daughter. Yeah. Another guy that we're probably still paying.
Did he get retested and did he pop positive when he was with the Angels? I'm wondering.
No, but afterwards I think he had a relapse.
He did after,
after.
Yeah.
Relapse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Went back to Texas.
So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you talk about talent. It's just man. Sounds like Marinovich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Another relapse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Another wasted talent. One last thing on Madden. He's what, 65, but he is not anti-analytics.
Mm-hmm.
He's both.
Yeah.
He'll do the analytics, but he's not going to be like Dave Roberts, where they say this is the way it is. This is what the whole numbers.
It's not the cybermetrics.
It's
Madden's
way. They're going to give him the analytics, and he might use them, or he might not use them. Giambi's
the same way, I think, right? Giambi's not a big analytics guy
Girardi?
too. Girardi, sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Girardi, yeah.
No.
Girardi, and he's just got the Philly job, and I think he's
Yeah.
the same way. Like,
they sign him?
I'll listen
He got
to
the
it.
Philly
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
I
Philly
didn't know
got
that.
Philly job.
That's good.
But I'm like, yeah, I'll listen. But those, what
but
those
then
guys are
you gotta
doing.
have
They're
the
really
talent to do
good.
that too, though.
Yeah, but
That's the thing.
they're really good at those guys are making their money not on the analytics. It's for game time decisions, right?
Oh, no doubt.
When to bring in a guy in.
Get on the phone and say who's starting today.
Right.
I'll give you something. So we all know the matchups in baseball. Lefty, righty, all this. The Dodgers this year. Why, when the playoffs start? You got Ryu, you got Kershaw, and you got Buehler, all considered number ones on any team.
Right.
Maeda could be a 1 or 2, given, and same thing with Hill. I mean, legitimate 2. But you got lefty, righty. I mean, you could legitimately go Ryu for 2 to start, and then go to Buehler for 2, and then go to Kershaw for 2. You go lefty, lefty, and then, bring in a Maeda. If he sees 5 hitters, he only goes 1. If he doesn't, he can go 2. And then you go to Hill with the same formula. And then if he gets a Jansen, and the differential between going from a Hill to a Jansen at the end of the game,
Oh, yeah.
and then flip-flop the 2 lefties and the 2 righties for the next game 2, it's almost like throwing bullpens. And how do you prepare for that? You don't. And I don't understand,
Yeah, that would drive somebody crazy.
I just don't ever see that happening.
It would never
No.
happen.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't understand
Yeah.
why you wouldn't even think that way. Same thing they had.
I could
Greinke and Kershaw,
the only way I could see that happening is like right now in Game 7.
Well, I'm talking about
You know what I mean?
you could have done it throughout the whole playoffs. That's the
No,
only
I'm
time
just
you would
saying
do it.
the only time I could see it happening is in a Game 7.
but everybody
Like,
would have to be
So you're
fresh.
never seeing like that's why I think they took Verlander out in the 4th, 5th inning because they're like I might need you for an inning.
And you might.
Yeah. So
No, the way all those analytics work, I'm surprised.
so
when you have
actually
those kind of hitters,
talking about baseball, what is your thoughts about the controversial call last night? Do you see it?
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was sure that New York was going to rule in Washington's favor because
Okay.
they're,
It's
I
not
know.
enough. It's
Do you
Yeah,
see
no.
Turner? What was great is Turner's like he's right there.
Yeah.
He's pointing at.
That was good.
He's
Torrey
going. He's right there. You don't need to call New York. He's right there. And Torrey is. It's like this. Like he's got his head down. Like don't ask me.
I don't want any
wanna
part
make
of
this
it.
decision. I don't want to make this. But Elliot and I talked about it a little bit on the way down here, and we see both ways. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, you see both ways.
I happen
Like,
to be listening on the radio,
Okay.
and
how did they describe it on the
They
radio?
told me on the radio, it was just a absolute blown call, but left foot on the line, right foot in foul territory. So then when I get home and I finally see it, no, I mean, look, the angle of the umpire, and the glove falling off, and quite frankly, where he was running, first 3 quarters of that of going to first base, he's out of the baseline. I mean, the rule applies.
Right.
But he did pick it up. But the other bad thing is his swing when he swung. No right-handed hitter is going to be in that box or that stripe running down the line. It should have been a no call because basically it was a horrible throw.
I think he needs
He
to
never
work
asked for help, though. He should have asked for help.
He just needs to work. He needs to work his way towards that line earlier rather than later.
Yes,
It
the
was like
last second.
down in the last minute
Yeah,
he
that's
went over.
He hits
Yeah.
a routine ground ball.
Right.
I
I mean, obviously he's running from the right-hand batter's box, right? But he needs to work his way halfway down the line towards the line. But he didn't do that until like 2
Last
steps
second.
prior. And
I don't
that's
even think he realizes it was hit as soft and where it went. I mean, he hits
Yeah.
the ball and
and you just got your head down. You're going 100
he's
miles.
thinking,
Yeah.
oh well, I'm going to be out, and it happens. But he, regardless of where he was to start, when he finished, it should have been a no call,
So-
and they should have asked for help. That's where Martinez messed up. He should have walked out, talked to him, said, "Do me a favor. Can you just ask one of your partners here for help?" They could have gotten together, and one of the other umpires might have said, "Hey, you know what? The throw was this." And
Well, that's what I don't think those guys with the camera, like they don't want to make a decision. Like let's make New York do it. So I guess my question is this.
no, but on decisions that aren't reviewable.
Yeah,
Why
but,
not just-
but they did. They did. They
that
did.
wasn't supposed-
They weren't asking. It was a
That was-
non-reviewable
that's
play.
not
So
reviewable.
what were they on with New
They
York?
just wanted to
for?
make sure that it was a non-reviewable play and that they're doing everything by the
Well,
book.
that took 5 minutes to tell them that.
I think they were telling him you might have screwed up too, and how's your wife doing? And
Yeah. Where are we going for dinner
So
tonight?
so I guess my question is, was it Davey? Was it Martinez's goal to go get thrown out? Or
he
because as a GM,
I thought he
right?
was
I'm
gonna
like,
die.
whoa.
I thought he was gonna die right on the field.
I'm like, whoa, go say what you need to say, but I need you to manage this ball club for the rest of this game. Now,
Well,
again, you know baseball, better than I do, but go pump these guys up. Let me go get thrown out and tell them that I
don't think so.
I don't think that's
now
the
with his heart
situation. You don't
condition.
want to do that in a big game. He messed up. All you have to do, and is walk out and
Ask for help.
Ask for help. Do me a favor.
you do.
I understand you saw what you saw. Can you do me a favor? Just ask your crew for help because they saw it, might have seen it differently, and then you accept it, especially if it's not reviewable.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no New York. It's here you go. Just do me this favor. No umpire in his right mind is going to tell you no, especially in that situation. And they're going to get together and it's, did you see it? Did you see it? And it's a play that you're not going to big league, or show another umpire up in that situation because it was what it was in the situation, and that's what he should have done. I mean, they won anyway. But it will have an impact on the league.
But it pumped him up, or the next guy gets a home run. Renan
Yeah, but
gets
he
a home
never
run.
got thrown out till he got thrown out during the
In
break.
the intermission.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
no,
That's
no,
right.
no,
Then
right.
he came back out. That's right.
I'm sure
Because it was during take me out to the ball game, and
I'm sure
he's
somebody,
going nuts.
yeah, I'm sure somebody popped off from the dugout, and the umpire probably said something, and Martinez snaps.
Okay.
We don't see that, but who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
again, they won,
Right.
But there will be something similar to the pass interference in the offseason that is now reviewable. I think they'll some of these decisions
Will be
umpires
reviewable.
Well, that just really slowed the game down, though.
Oh,
I mean, it was
it
like
took
5
forever.
like 5 minutes or something,
Yeah.
like good 5
Well,
minutes.
yeah,
like,
and then the new pitcher.
yeah, he's like, hey, I need to
Here you go,
throw.
throw, belt high.
Harris,
Yeah.
yeah,
It didn't
crazy.
matter either way, but
Right.
What do we got going on here?
Still the same.
Yeah, still the same.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, we're going to talk a little Pac-12 football. Vinny's not here to pump up his
his Trojans.
They host number 7 Oregon.
Who looked horrible against Washington State last week.
35 to 33 or
I watched the
37-35.
end of that game. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember
Well, they were
what it
lucky to
was.
win that game.
They
Actually,
were.
Oh,
yeah.
there's no doubt.
SC needs to beat them if they want to have.
But
a
you
chance
see, but
to, win the South.
The Washington State coach, he owns Oregon. I mean, he was like 4-0 going into that game against Oregon in the last 4 years. Like he has so many different. He's a magician when it comes to throwing the football. I mean, that's why he's always the leader in passing
Washington State
yards.
talking
Yeah,
about.
You
Washington
know
State.
what SC team's going to show up on Saturday?
Well, I mean, I compare it athletes to athletes, and I think Oregon has more athletes than USC does, and
Can you
I
believe
just
that even came out of your mouth? If
Yeah,
you told
and-
yourself 10 years ago that you're going to make that statement.
right. But so I was I'll keep this kind of as generic as possible. But I ran into a past USC quarterback, and he says he really likes the Slovis kid. He says I think
Yeah.
he's the real deal, right? He goes, I think, and he's a freshman, and he's handling himself. He reminds me a little bit of he says a little bit of Andrew Luck, but he's a little smaller. He's very smart. He says, but that being said, the other kid is gone.
So did you have lunch with Palmer, or did you have lunch with Leinart?
He'll leave.
Who will leave?
The kid from Mater Day,
JT Daniels.
JD Daniels will leave.
He'll
go.
He decommitted and he's
No. JT Daniels was the quarterback this year. Got hurt. Blew out
I'm
his
talking
knee.
about the kid from Mater Day.
Oh, he's going to Alabama. He's going to Alabama.
Yeah, he's going to Alabama.
But because Slovis came in, that was supposed to be his spot. So then the new offensive coordinator comes in, gets this kid Slovis, who was being coached by Kurt Warner out in Arizona.
It's crazy.
He
Why
comes
wouldn't
in.
you? Matt Castle's the living proof of
exactly.
Be a backup quarterback your entire
He's
life.
made
It's quarterback you.
He's made a fortune being
So he goes
holding a clipboard.
So if Daniels is gone. Like he'll be gone.
Helton keeps saying
Is Castle still playing?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He's not
I don't
on a
think
roster.
I don't think so. I don't know. You got the computer. Look him up.
I'm not sure about that. I think somebody picked him up as a backup.
I think so too.
A third string backup.
If Mark Sanchez is still on a roster, Matt Castle has to be.
I don't think Mark Sanchez is on a roster
He
anymore.
is.
He's doing ESPN.
No.
Yeah, he's doing ESPN
Yeah, he's
college
ESPN.
football.
He was just he was
No,
on.
he started maybe earlier this year, but he's not.
He's doing.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know about it.
He just held the. Let me see. Okay, Matty Castle. But yeah, I mean, SC, the fraternity after college and everything else that's involved in it, and I mean, the sun.
I just think
the women, the beach.
I think this is going to be the dagger that's going to get rid of Helton.
Yeah,
I
because
think
he's
USC's
already
going to beat him at home.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to make it anyways, but I think this is going to be the
Does Urban Meyer come in? And,
if he wins this game, like it's like, oh my gosh, do we have to think about keeping him? You know, because they have the tiebreaker on Utah.
They do.
You know, so
Last year was Castle's last year. He played 2 games for Detroit.
Yeah.
There you go.
But, man, I mean, he started in 05.
Yeah.
And was a backup
14
with the Patriots for how long? And then Kansas City signed a
He made a
remarkable
fortune
deal.
just carrying the clipboard.
It was
Yeah.
great.
The other guy that's going to be a pretty good
Steve Young.
quarterback, pretty good quarterback that's going to be a backup here is Andy Dalton. He's going to he could go give himself 5 or 6 years and
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think there's going to be too many athletes on Oregon's side. I think Oregon has played tougher
Well,
teams.
the only loss was to Auburn opening game.
last 5 minutes of the
first
game
of
too.
the, first game of the year.
They've had some close ones. Like we said, I think they should have lost that game last week, and they finally pulled it out somehow. But yeah, and that Oregon guy, that Oregon coach, he recruited 4 big time 5-star players out of Mater Dei and St. John Bosco last year.
Oh yeah,
and
he's
USC
all
and
over Southern
UCLA
Cal.
didn't get him.
He's all over
Right?
Southern
He's
Cal.
all over Southern Cal. So that's another thing to kind of run it up on USC to kind of show these Southern California kids.
Why wouldn't
you know?
you be?
Right, exactly.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
From Vince Ferragamo to, Carson Palmer to,
Right,
I mean, anybody in between.
Yeah.
It's crazy, what comes out of here. Actually, I was trying to pull that up. So
Well, so that's and we go to the next topic, right? Which is the Mater Dei Bosco game, right? And both those quarterbacks, one's going to Alabama and the other one's going to Clemson. They're not going local.
Clemson.
I have a basement, and I have 3 65-inchers, and then I have a 60-incher that's for my goal.
Yeah, he has a more or less a man cave upon man cave.
Yeah, I have an 1,100 square foot basement in the home, that we bought, and it was perfect. But it's the first time ever that I actually had to take the Golden Tee TV, and I was streaming the World Series on it on the MLB app, because the Lakers were on now, regular season game, right? SC was playing that Friday night game, and then on the main TV though, I had Bosco and Mater Dei because it was the best thing to watch.
Yeah.
The World
Exactly.
Series, I could glance, and the Laker games, first couple, and SC they were lucky to win.
Against Colorado
at the time, getting beat up by Colorado when I turned it on, but. I mean, again, every year, I mean, any game they're playing, either one of those teams, it's a Friday night, and it reminds me the old Carson Banning games. I don't know, if you remember those games, or even Paulie and Los Al back in the day, but better. I mean, it's crazy. The kids are bigger, faster, stronger. Both of those quarterbacks were unbelievable.
Yeah.
And well coached, all of them.
Yeah, Bryce Young has come a long way from last year to this year, and that's why, and by the way, he fits the mold of an Alabama quarterback, really, to be honest with you. Tua
but what's
and
his name?
Hurts.
His brother's is there too, and he's younger though. What's the guy that's hurt?
Tua.
Yeah, Tua's brother is there.
But
Yeah,
I think
he
this
can
kid,
be-
I think this kid can beat him out, to be honest with
He's a
you.
California kid. Come on, he's gonna.
Yeah. So.
Although he didn't go to,
Or he's gonna
quarterback-
go into the
he didn't go
portal.
back to quarterback high with Johnson, though,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
This wasn't in the topics, but we'll talk about it just briefly. The NC2A has finally decided to let players make money off of the NIL, the name, the image, and a quote. As long as it's in a matter consistent with the true collegiate model.
Well, that's gray.
Whatever that means.
That's a gray
But
area.
they have allowed athletes to
Starting
They can-
2020 or
they can
starting in
endorsement
20?
deals and anything they want. They just can't. They can't not adhere to your schools. So if I got a Nike contract and I'm playing at SC and SC's got an Adidas contract, anything I do on the field or at practice that has to do with the school and the football team, I would have to wear Adidas.
Right.
Outside of that, you can do whatever you want. You can
Boy,
actually have a job now.
How
Which is crazy.
how much money does Zion lose last year? Jeez.
No, but I mean, you and I had this conversation when it happened. And he had a different look than I did. I'm thinking the
That's what we
recruiting
like.
and everything else. And his opinion was, well, why wouldn't I want to go to San Diego State instead of SC? And then all my garb. Remember what you said? You said all your memorabilia and everything because you would be the man. It doesn't matter. You're making the money.
That's right.
But
There's going to be a lot of people that are going to, there's going to be a lot of the lower sports that are going to fight this because you're pouring all your money into that quarterback that's the other thing is
it
like
has nothing to do with the school though, really. I mean,
yeah, but I mean
the players generating the revenue.
so are these guys getting it agents?
Yes. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, no, I'm just saying
Endorsement agent. I mean, things like of that sort.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, it could be
Or
good for NCAA basketball. for guys that are thinking about leaving early. You're going to that's a joke at this point.
Yeah, one and done.
Go to college for 1 year, and why they don't do it like baseball.
Well, but then
change the structure.
Like, I mean,
with the draft.
and that's the other deal. You're going to pour all your money into 5 programs. You know what I mean? Because they get the most. So Duke, Kentucky. I mean,
right.
Who else? You know what I mean? Like.
Not UCLA anymore, right?
Right. Like it's nobody on the West Coast that's really a big name. That's so you're going to go after. I mean.
But maybe that changes with this too. With schools that have money, But again, with basketball, there's only a certain amount of players that are going to stick around, and you're going to be a powerhouse because of the way it works.
So these kids are going to make money to the point where they are going to be trying to do one and dones or. Yeah. I don't know. This could get dangerous. Let's see.
Well, it could, but again, I've said that college football has always been my favorite sport because you get 11 guys on each side of the ball selling out, and they don't make a dime.
Yeah.
And yet we're engaged and we're watching it. No matter where we are, across the country.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right.
So again, it can't have a job during the season. All these other things that they've limited these athletes to, and yet they're generating all this revenue. They've kind of done it to themselves.
A lot of revenue for the colleges. A lot of revenue.
No, there's no doubt.
See, in my mind, if this is a team, and I hate to say this, I'm trying to be more team oriented, but I would say if you're on that team, we're going to take all the jersey sales and we're going to divide it up and we're going to give it to everybody equally. That's kind of how I would take it and said, oh, here's QB Johnny over here driving his Porsche and I'm in a Pinto station wagon. Like I'm a kicker. I just won you the game. Because I just kicked it. Like there's a lot of, like, I don't know. I just think it should be spread out differently. And I think there's going to be a lot of protests on this where, if that's the case, then all the teams and then spread it out equally to all the athletes. I don't know.
I don't know if I told you this. You brought up a kicker, but my son's friend, they're seniors at San Juan Hills, and he's a big soccer player. His brother, as a junior, went and signed with Malaga and moved to Spain, and I think now he's and this kid's the same way. Plays only club soccer at a high level, and was out kicking, and the football coach saw him, and all of a sudden they come in, and Zach says, "Talk to my dad about it." And he said, "What?" And he said, "Well, they want me to kick field goals. What do you think I should do?" And I said, "Well, first of all, I don't know. You guys know who Richie Cunningham is?"
No.
No, he kicked for Dallas and Jaguars and whatnot. But
I know that last name.
He's a guy who moved to Ladera Ranch with a normal-looking guy.
Yeah.
I coached against him, and he was kind of a friend for about 4 or 5 years. And we're out one night, and he's got Super Bowl ring on, and like, what the hell? He tells me, explains he's Richie Cunningham, but he started out as a soccer player at Southwest Louisiana, became a kicker with a football coach. So anyway, so this kid, I said, yeah, watch this, and I went on YouTube immediately, and Super Bowls, and I didn't know which. Went to one of the Patriots one, and fast forward to the end of the game, boom, he kicks it to win it. Did it again, 2 of them, and then I went to the Buffalo one, and I said, this is the downside, but everybody thinks Tom Brady's the guy and this and that. When the kicker actually, so the kid now he decided to play.
Right.
He's 33 for 33 on PATs. He's only missed 1 field goal. The one he missed was a 39-yarder or something, and he had plenty of distance. Just missed it. Every kickoff is in the end zone, and now he's putting them. It was his goal to put him through the uprights on the kickoffs, and he's doing that now. But last week he was 6 for 6 in PATs, and the record was 7 for 7, and he just missed it, tying the record. But SC's looking at him.
Wow.
He's got this huddle thing, and been passing it on, and it's just a trip. The kid, never even thought about playing football.
It's like these Australian punters now that are coming over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's just kind of funny. The kicker, I mean, he should be driving the Rolls Royce.
Right.
Would be my point.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we wrap it up, I want to give kudos to Mater Dei. We started to talk about high school football.
Great.
Third straight Southern Section Championship, third straight, going for their third straight state, third straight national title. They're number 1 in the nation, USA Today. Have been all year, and Rollinson's done a hell of a job over there.
It's amazing. Bosco's going to beat him in the playoffs.
Really?
Well, last year it was the other way around. Bosco won the
that's right.
Yeah, I'm saying, watch. Yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah, Bosco's tough.
They're power. It's so
Both
fun.
of them are.
It's so fun to watch.
Both of them are.
I mean,
yeah.
When you're selling out the stadium and they're reselling tickets for $200 online for a high school football.
Yeah. It's like Texas.
Well, how many tickets could they? That game was in a 5,000 seat stadium on campus.
Yeah.
How many seats could they have sold if they were gone to Veterans Stadium or someplace
Angel
else?
Stadium.
Yeah. Go to the Home Depot Center.
5,000.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
The first time I ever saw a game there was the Santa Margarita State Championship. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and Buddy and I went very top. Our backs were against the wall, basically the worst seat you could have, but 50-yard line, and it was the best seat I think I ever had at a stadium.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fun. But
John, we'll talk quickly about the Ducks. Your Ducks, they're off to a nice start.
Yeah,
8-6.
They're off to a good start. I mean, the Pacific Division is really, really strong.
It's
it's going to be really a tough. But they get Josh Maurer come up. He comes up from the goals because Lindstrom got hurt and scores a goal and has 3 assists. And it was kind of like kind of back and forth. And the goals that they were getting, the Winnipeg was just like pucks that were diverted right to a guy right in front of the net, like nobody around him type of thing. And it was just like every time that we scored, they would score. And it was like a bad pass by Gibson right to a guy, right, type of deal. And then the second period opened up, and they just went nuts. And so it was good. They had a lot of goals. I think won 7 of 4. And
I like the way they're playing.
So far, so good. A great thing happened last night. Cam Fowler passed Scott Niedermeyer last night with his 61st goal, and that is now the all-time record for defenseman for the Ducks defenseman.
Wow.
So he passed that last night. So
hats off to him.
that was the second goal of the night. Yeah, and then the kid came up, the rookie came up and had a hell of a game. So, like the coach, like the way things are going, but it's going to be tough. I mean, San Jose, Vegas, I mean, they're all good. San
Jose's down there with the...
Calgary came in and beat us, at our place. It's the Pacific Division also is like 26-12 against the East Coast. Something crazy.
Yeah.
So
SEC in football.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's good. It's but it's not going to be easy. That's for sure. So
should be a good race all year. All right, we got anything else?
Yes, real quick. Mr. Woods tied Sam Snead
Yes,
for his 82nd win, and so that's obviously a very, very big accomplishment. And I think the way that he's playing, I think he's going to be able to pass him and win. But that was pretty awesome in Japan. I like that they are going over in this kind of weird season, and because golf is so global, I like that the PGA Tour has expanded the season over into Korea and Japan and China and just help growing the game. The other thing that I want to throw at you guys that I'm not a big fan of, but he kind of mentioned it in his press conference that he's the President's Cup captain.
Oh yeah.
And they said did the player Tiger Woods get the captain's attention? And he says he absolutely did.
I'll give you what though.
But
I should have no.
Right, but here's the deal: it's the President's Cup. It's the minor leagues of the Ryder Cup.
Humble yourself and just be a coach.
We've dominated that thing from day one to the point where some of these guys are like, some of these guys from Australia, like, I don't want to go get my butt handed to me. Right? I take it as this: go captain. Right? Just go captain. Learn to be a captain because you're going to be a Ryder Cup captain down the way. Learn to be a captain. Learn to do this and allow yourselves to bring on younger guys, the Schauffele's, the Fowlers, the Justin Thomases. Get these younger guys, to come in, and you never know. You might find a team that actually works together that is going to help for the Ryder Cup.
Right.
So
I think somebody will embrace him and maybe.
No, I think if the decision's made because his head can't fit inside the door.
You don't think a guy like Jack or somebody says, hey, let's have dinner, and hey, Tiger, look, you got to think about this because.
I don't think he's just like, I don't need dinner. Like, he's just that kind of guy.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I don't look, to his credit.
I think the only guy he would listen to is his father.
It was Tiger versus the field.
Right.
I mean, when he changed the game, and
no doubt about it, right? And I probably do kind of look at you guys and go, yeah, he should be on the team. But you know what?
I kind of do too.
If that's the case, then step away from being the captain and let somebody else be the captain. But don't
get picked. Yeah.
Like because of my relationship with Paul, with McGinley, and being a captain, you only have those guys for 1 week. You don't have them. Like 5 weeks prior, and you do practices and all this kind of figuring it out. You got 1 week to have these egos that are inside this room, right? So what I'm trying to say is, go be a captain and learn to be a captain and do it that way. And don't, because now all of a sudden you're on the third hole playing with Ricky Fowler, and you got to make a decision for the afternoon. Like, what's going on? Like, the way that Paul did it is he made sure he had an assistant captain with every single match, and I could go, Elliot, what's going on in that match? Bob's playing like crap. Like, you want no part of this guy in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Okay, well, then we'll put Elliot with John. You know what I mean? Like, but you can't do that from the third hole. You're playing.
Right.
Like, your mindset's playing. You're gonna have so much going on with press and all that kind of stuff.
If you lose the match, and maybe you got boat raced a little bit, but in your head you thought, well, shoot, I just missed that. I just missed it. I should play the next one. Then you got guys on your own team question.
Let alone you're in Australia too. Like, it's in Australia in December. Like, just go be a captain.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
So that's just my 2 cents on it.
Oh, you're right. I mean, look, your opinion when it comes to that is valid for sure.
I mean, there's so much to do when you're a captain. I mean, you're not going to be able to do it from the golf course. Like,
still one of the greatest Ryder Cup stories I ever heard was you riding in the car.
yeah,
That was great.
yeah.
A year before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So.
All right, if that is it, we'll wrap it up. Again, thanks to Elliot.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I
Do
appreciate
you
it.
does this gentleman have time available to do?
Well, he's he's a week by week. He's a game time decision.
game time decision.
Yeah.
Well,
he traveled. You thought I traveled. He travels way more than I do.
So I enjoyed it. If you ever need somebody, let me know. And,
Yeah. We'd love to.
I'd love to help
Appreciate having you. All right, we are out.
Wonderful.
Peace.
Oh, that's the camera there. Volume.